At 2:07 in the morning, when the world was quiet and most people were asleep, a single dad's phone started ringing. The number was unknown. His first thought was fear, the kind that grabs your chest when you're raising a child alone. He almost ignored it. Almost. That single decision to answer a call that wasn't meant for him would change his life and someone else's in ways neither of them could ever imagine. Before we dive into this story, take a second to support the channel. If stories about kindness, unexpected moments, and life-changing choices speak to you, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is your channel name, and your support helps us keep bringing meaningful stories like this to you. Mark Wilson was 38 years old, exhausted, and doing his best to be everything for his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, and since then, life had been a careful balancing act. Work during the day, homework and dinner in the evening, and quiet moments late at night when the house felt too empty. That night, Mark had finally fallen asleep on the couch, still wearing his work clothes. Lily was tucked safely into her bed. When the phone rang, his heart jumped. Calls at 2 a.m. were never good. He answered in a groggy voice, "Hello?" On the other end was a young woman, her voice shaky and rushed. "Dad, I need you, please, I messed up." Mark froze. "I think you've got the wrong number," he said gently. There was silence, then a small sob. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. I thought this was my father's old number." Mark could have hung up, anyone would have, but something in her voice stopped him. Fear, loneliness, the same kind he'd felt so many nights after losing his wife. "Are you okay?" he asked. She hesitated, then broke down. She explained she was stranded outside a closed estate gate, her car out of gas, her phone about to die. She didn't want to call anyone else. Pride, maybe? Or pain? "Where are you?" Mark asked, already sitting up. She gave an address across town, one of those gated neighborhoods Mark only drove past on his way to work, places that felt like another world. "I can't promise much," he said, "but I can come make sure you're safe." She tried to protest, saying she'd figure it out. But Mark was already pulling on his jacket. He left Lily with his elderly neighbor, who knew their routine for emergencies. Then he drove through empty streets, wondering why he was doing this for a stranger. When he arrived, he saw her standing by a sleek black car, hugging herself against the cold. She looked young, maybe late 20s, wearing an expensive coat that couldn't hide how lost she felt. "I'm Mark," he said softly as he approached. She looked relieved, not because he was impressive, but because he showed up. "I'm Emma," she replied. He helped her get gas, waited while the car started, and listened as she apologized over and over. She didn't mention who she was, just that she'd had a fight with her father earlier that night and left the house in anger. Before she drove off, she looked at him and said, "Thank you for coming. You didn't have to." Mark smiled. Sometimes people just need someone to answer the phone. They went their separate ways. Mark went home, crawled back onto the couch, and thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 2 days later, Mark received another call. This time, the number wasn't blocked. "Hi. It's Emma from the other night." She asked if she could meet him for coffee. Mark hesitated but agreed. At the cafe, he learned the truth. Emma wasn't just anyone. She was the daughter of a powerful real estate magnate, an heiress to a fortune most people could only imagine. But her wealth hadn't protected her from loneliness. Her mother had died years earlier. Her father was distant, demanding, and more focused on control than connection. That night, she said, stirring her coffee, "I didn't need money or security. I needed someone to care." Mark listened, not as someone impressed, but as someone who understood pain. They began meeting occasionally. Simple things, coffee, walks. conversations about life, grief, and parenting. Emma adored Lily. Lily adored Emma. One evening after dinner at Mark's small apartment, Emma watched him help Lily with a school project. There was patience in his voice, kindness in his eyes, no expectation of reward. Later that night, Emma said something that caught him off guard. "Would you consider working for my family foundation?" she asked. "We help struggling families, single parents, kids who need stability." Mark laughed nervously. "I'm just a warehouse supervisor." "That's exactly why," Emma replied. "You understand." Months passed. Mark transitioned into work that mattered deeply to him. His life improved, not because of money alone, but because he felt seen. One night, after Lily had gone to bed, Emma stood on Mark's balcony, looking out at the city lights. "That wrong call at 2 a.m., she said quietly, "was the best mistake of my life." Mark smiled. "Mine too." Years later, people would talk about how a powerful heiress changed the life of a struggling single dad. But that wasn't the real story. The real story was about a man who answered a phone call when he didn't have to, about kindness without conditions, about showing up for someone you don't know simply because you can. Mark never forgot that night. He taught Lily the same lesson. "You don't always know who you're helping," he told her once, "but help anyway." And that simple choice, to be kind when it's inconvenient, became the foundation of a life built not just on success, but on love. If this story moved you, let it remind you that kindness doesn't need an invitation. Sometimes, all it takes is answering the phone, and you never know, it might change everything. Thank you for watching. May you carry this story with you, and may your next small act of kindness create a ripple far bigger than you ever imagined.